And go figure, all this time, I thought it was just me. Before we get into this video, make sure you hit like, share my videos, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Also, make sure that your notifications are on and they're set to all. Now, let's get into this. But first, quick commercial break. Friends, we're facing more threats than ever before. When our leaders warn of global food shortages, even here in the US, it is time to act. Go to preparewithkevinscorner.com and get you your long-term emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply while you still can. See, we don't know when more empty store shelves might hit. So now is the best time to act. My Patriot Supply is by far the #1 preparedness company to rely on, with millions of satisfied customers this past year. Act quickly and save $150 on a vital 3-month emergency food kit. This kit provides breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, and snacks, totaling over 2,000 calories a day. Every family in America should have at least 1 to 3 months supply of food per person. And now you can. Go to preparewithkevinscorner.com and save $150 on your 3-month food kit. That is preparewithkevinscorner.com. Your order ships quickly and arrives in unmarked boxes for your privacy. Don't wait any longer. Go to preparewithkevinscorner.com. Now let's get back to this video. What's going on, America? Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. Yeah, and I've been having some problems making sense out of something in regards to my channel, my YouTube channel. Now, those that are subscribed to me and have been subscribed to me for a long time and have observed the growth of my channel, the success, the ups and downs, you will know that I started off and my channel took off. It went from like 1,000 to 30,000. Then it went all the way up to 56,000. And then out of nowhere, it just stopped. Miraculously stopped and started going backwards. So it went from 56,000 down to 54,000, I believe, somewhere around there. I mean, don't hold me to the exact numbers, but I remember that happening. Then it stayed there forever. So I started inquiring some things. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it jumps from 54,000 all the way up over 100,000. They sent me a little plaque, welcome to the 100,000 club. I was, yeah, great. And after that, I'm thinking, well, smooth sailing. It went all the way up to, I think, 156,000. 156,000. Then all of a sudden, same thing, complete stop. Not only did it stop, but then it started going backwards again. Went from 156,000 down to 154. My views went from 20, 30, 40, 50 and above thousand down to 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. And I found that to be quite strange. Stayed like that for like a whole year. I complained. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, 1 month, it goes from 156 to over 200,000 in 1 month. Goes all the way up to, I think, 200 and maybe 10,000, somewhere around there. And just like that, stops, hits a roadblock. Not only did it stop, and not only did my views once again goes from hundreds of thousands, 20, 30, 40 and above, back down to 3,500, 5,000, if that, sometimes not breaking 1,000. And then mysteriously, my subscribers just started disappearing, just started going backwards. Went from 210 or 11,000 back down to 200,000, from 200,000 down to 190, now I'm down to 189. And YouTube hasn't been able to give me a rational reason why. They've been running me around and telling me, well, you know what, it's your content. People aren't subscribing like they used to. They don't watch the videos long enough. You know what, we have to get rid of certain accounts after that. We do a little investigation, find out they're not real. They're not real accounts. And that maybe if you just work on, maybe better titles and all of this stuff. So they've been trying to tell me that all of this time, it wasn't their fault. It wasn't something nefarious going on with YouTube. It was simply you guys. This data shows that many that watched your channel is not subscribed. Many just click, they don't watch the whole video. And then sometimes when they be watching it, they don't be having their notifications set to off. They give me a whole bunch of garbage regardless of my argument. So it's hard sometimes to pin them down and make them just tap out and come out and say, look, man, somewhere along the line, you got on our bad side. I don't know what video I did, what made them mad or something like that. I don't know. But I do know it is very abnormal to see these type of anomalies taking place on my channel, especially since they all about being progressive. A black man that happens to just be conservative. They don't want to see Kev be great. Some reason my growth is stagnant and going backwards. Some reason people are more willing to watch a live video of mine, which average runtime is an hour, hour and a half to 2 hours, and I hit 3,500, sometimes 5,000 views on that video. But yet, when I upload a 5 or 6 minute video, it barely breaks 1,000. And yet they're telling me, no, there's nothing strange about that. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Now, I didn't have to try any of those things before. Everything was working fine. All of a sudden now, they're trying to make me believe that it just stopped. Now, like I said, for a minute, I was like, well, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's personal. But now, I found someone in mainstream media, I would consider this mainstream, that also can relate to what they have done to me. The exact same thing. Y'all ready for this, y'all? I feel like I got a kindred spirit. Let's get into it. Here is Kim. She's from Rising, I guess, News. And she has a testimony to share with us about what happened to her. So let's check it out.
Well, YouTube has struck again. The Kim Iversen Show channel is currently suspended for 1 week for violating YouTube's medical misinformation policy.
Oh.
As some of you may know, I have my own YouTube show that I started a little over 3 years ago.
Okay.
Throughout 2019 and into early 2020, before the pandemic, my channel grew very quickly, averaging 15 to 20,000 subscribers per month. My focus was on the Democratic primary, of course, and foreign policy. Okay. And many of my videos garnered hundreds of thousands of views, and within a little over a year, I hit 250,000 subscribers.
Isn't that quite strange? Same thing happened to me. My channel took off. It was doing very well. Everybody was excited about it, sharing my videos, high views, all of that. Doing real well. Kim, I'm starting to see that maybe you and I might have something in common. And I want to hear YouTube explain this anomaly that happened to us exactly the same way. One thing we do have in common is we both criticize certain unpopular topics concerning, progressive social media platforms. We do have that in common. So maybe there's a parallel, but let's continue. We don't want to be hasty in our judgment, do we?
Everything with my channel was going incredibly well, almost too well. I did it all alone, sitting in a bedroom I had converted into a studio with a fabric backdrop, a ring light, and a starter DSLR. I did my own lighting, sound, filming, and editing. I was living with my family while I got the channel going, and Airbnb my own apartment for cash. But after a while of grinding it out, my channel started to make money. By November of 2019, I was able to get back to living on my own. I started looking into hiring help. Then the pandemic hit. The focus of my attention and everyone else's shifted to the virus and lockdowns. I was against the lockdowns from day one. I argued they would result in a massive transfer of wealth, an unprecedented limitation of freedoms, and would only cause immense harm to children and others who are of low risk for the virus.
I agree.
I was also willing to discuss the lab leak theory. End of March of 2020 and into April, I made a few videos about the theory. One of my videos hit over 1 million views. Then suddenly, my video was removed by YouTube. They didn't have the same strike policy they have now. Instead, my channel suddenly went from explosive growth to zero growth.
What?
With my videos barely able to hit 10,000 views.
Now, isn't that strange that happened to both of us? Same thing with me. I happened to make a video that apparently didn't meet YouTube's guidelines in regards to COVID, and out of nowhere, they took my video down, and then all of a sudden, my channel just stopped. I found it to be a little suspicious. I started to think to myself, wow, I didn't know that if you maybe got in trouble and they took a video down or you got a strike, that means that it's going to pretty much set your whole channel on do not grow mode and tell you that, oh no, we don't know why. It's just going backwards and never going frontwards again. We don't know why. It was skyrocketing and taking off, but just hit a brick wall and all of a sudden stop. No, we don't do any type of suppression. We don't build our algorithms to make sure we recognize you because you done popped up on a radar. We don't do that. No, we don't discriminate against conservatives. No, we're here to make sure that your channel grow. And of course, we all know they love minorities, like this lady who appears to be Asian or something, and me, a black man who just want, to be successful, just want to be great. I would think this very liberal platform that all is involved in inclusivity and stuff like that would be doing everything to encourage and see the growth of my channel and respecting the diversity of thought, along with the diversity of me being a black man and her being an Asian woman. But now me and her is in the same category. What put us in that category? Well, we don't think like them. Interesting. Let's continue and see some other similarities.
So I went from 15 to 20,000 new subscribers per month to literally 0 subscribers. Not one. Very odd. This went on for months. In fact, my channel began losing subscribers. Yet the content wasn't any different than the many radars you've seen me do here on Rising.
Thank you.
There was one odd week in July of 2020 when the algorithm hit a glitch and I suddenly gained about 50,000 subscribers in a single week.
Same thing
then
to me.
Boom, back to nothing.
Wow.
That one event confirmed my suspicions that something was amiss.
I felt the same way. But every time I would ask YouTube would try to blow it off like, no, we don't do that stuff. Those are rumors. Those are probably right-wing talking points that we be shadow banning y'all and stuff. How else do you explain that? I mean, it's very hard for me to just believe, just like it was hard for Kim to believe, that out of nowhere, suspiciously, and more than once, the exact same thing happens. You grow, your views are high, and then out of nowhere, boom, you hit a wall. Out of nowhere, subscribers start being removed and disappearing, and they're blaming it on the subscribers. We're purging the channel. These are not real channels, even though I have data after data of people that's typing in the notes saying, hey man, what's up with this? I don't get notifications. What's up with this? I was unsubscribed. I had no idea. Even though people are sharing this information with me, they're still telling me, no, this is not us. We don't do those things. How do you explain this? I mean, the exact same thing happened to Kim. Now, either there's a glitch in the system or something, or she and I happen to be the most unlucky YouTube content providers on the internet. And I'm starting to think that maybe there's a little something more nefarious going on. But let's continue to see if our stories continue to line up like this.
It wasn't that my views are unpopular with the people. They're just unpopular with the establishment.
Oh.
And I wasn't alone. Others reported having similar issues after reporting on the lab leak theory and criticizing lockdowns. They too saw their subscriber count slow to a crawl at best and video view counts take a dive. But I trekked on. I found other ways to survive, but it took a long time for my channel to start to grow again. And now everyone is allowed to freely talk about the lab leak theory, so I was punished for something everyone can now talk about without consequence.
But I'm sure YouTube did not tell her that we punished you. I'm sure YouTube probably gave her some bullcrap and tried to tell her that bullcrap was chocolate, like they do me. Because they're not going to come out and just say, yes, we do shadow ban. Yes, we do have algorithms. Yes, there are keywords that you guys might say that make us say, yeah, that's one of these people who like to stir up trouble. So we're just going to make it seem like their views and opinions aren't popular. Their following is not large. They're fringe outliers. Yeah, they're not the norm. These people, we don't want to encourage or allow them to grow and become large because, see, we just realized our platform wasn't just for us to use to manipulate the public and allow propaganda and just have lots of cat videos. We realize also that our platform could be used to, blow up false narratives, to expose corruption, to expose liberal policies for what they are, to influence the minds of folks that maybe might be in the middle. We realized that. And unfortunately, we caught it a little late, but we did catch it in time enough to make sure we don't let some of you guys get too big to whereas you have enough popularity and support behind you to whereas if we were to do something like this, then you might bring too much attention to it, and then we got to act like it was a mistake. See, we don't want you to get that big. So we figure the ones that already got past us and they're big, we deal with them as we may. But you guys that's still growing, we could bully you guys, lie to you, tell you it's this, it's that, throw some garbage out there. What are you going to do? Come in and search us? What are you going to do? Come in and go into our database to see? No. What you're going to do is keep trucking along and getting frustrated and hopefully to the point where you decide, man, this is not worth it. Look what they did to poor Kim right here. All of the sacrifice and hard work that she made to grow her channel. And listen to how she describes what they do to other YouTubers, because it's not just her. She said other YouTubers said the same thing. Now, we all must be very unlucky. I bet you one thing we have in common, we're all conservatives. But here we go.
And that's one of the biggest issues with this type of content curation. One week, something is misinformation. The next week, it's common discourse. I was hit a year later in April of 2021 for reporting on Johnson & Johnson's vaccine being halted, which ended up being temporary, and alleged side effects that were being reported in the news about other brands. Wow. I violated their medical misinformation policy. By this point, YouTube had implemented their strike system. First, you get a warning, then you get a strike and can't upload for a week. If you get another strike, you can't upload for 2 weeks. Because there were 2 videos in question, they gave me a warning and a strike and limited me from uploading for a week. Wow. But a couple of months later, after some of the side effects were confirmed by Pfizer and the FDA, I appealed the strike and had it reversed to a warning. I didn't get my week back, but I at least shielded my channel from getting hit harder in the future. Well, that future came last Friday when I woke up to a message from YouTube telling me a video was removed for violating their medical misinformation policy. This resulted in a strike and I'm now suspended for posting for a week. Specifically, I violated their policy surrounding ivermectin.
Oh.
It is against YouTube's policy to post any content that claims ivermectin is either safe or effective in the treatment of COVID-19 or goes against the WHO. So I'm now in the doghouse, or horse stable, if you will. Now, I'm lucky that I've had the opportunity to come here to the Hill, where I've had a platform. Many other independent creators have had to give up and find new lines of work.
There you go.
People who are genuinely good at this job, who are trying to share information with the world, are being cut out using a variety of tactics, from algorithmic suppression to outright bans. Information is being limited to only that which is sanctioned by the state. Private companies can do what they want, but if they choose to only allow the state-sanctioned narrative to be heard, what has become of our culture?
Exactly.
Are we a free America, open to hear all sides of arguments, no matter how absurd or how much we disagree? Or are we one of a one narrative nation governed by Big Brother?
That's what they
We
want.
need to decide and we need to demand. But my fear is it's already been decided and demanded, and unfortunately not in the favor of free speech and free thought.
Well, there you have it. So I'm not in this boat all by myself, which is not very comforting at all. But like she was describing, some people will have hundreds and thousands of subscribers, millions, wake up one day, whole livelihood gone. Just snatched it, take it all down. Do you understand how disruptive that is to your life? To have your whole livelihood in the hands of these people who you don't even know why or how they make their decisions on what information that they feel are legitimate sources. When in reality, many of those legitimate sources turn out to be wrong, but they never remove them from the platform. They continue to use those same sources that are often wrong, most of the time wrong. And yet when they penalize folks and remove their channel like they did mine, they took 2 of my videos down. I appealed 1, and my 3rd time they tried to get me, I won that. But even if you win it, or even if they don't remove your channel, apparently something must happen that puts you on a naughty list, because your channel, like hers and many others that she was talking about, would just come to a random just stop. I mean, you're telling me out of all the hundreds of thousands of subscribers that I have, if you send out just 10% of the notifications, and you're telling me that still would be like 18,000 people or somewhere around there, and I'm having a hard time cracking 2,000 views, 6-minute video, something like that. You're telling me this through email, trying to act like, I'm pretty sure this guy will believe that. It's not right. That's what I'm saying. That's why I need your help. I need your help to continue to share my videos. I need you to make sure you're subscribed. I need you to make sure you're still subscribed. And if you're not, resubscribe. I need you to let me know if you're not getting notifications. All of the things that I used to didn't even need. See, now all of a sudden, I have to do all of this extra communicating and work just to ensure that they're not playing games, even though with all of that, it's still very difficult to get my channel to grow. It's not difficult to get it to lose subscribers. I don't understand. But it's hard for me to get it to grow. And they're telling me that, no, it has nothing to do with us. How do you explain Kim and I having the same scenario happen? And then she also referred to others. Well, I think it's pretty clear. So I want you to, after maybe listening to this video and then listening to her video, I want them to explain how random she and I have had the exact same experience. And I'm sure they'll say it's just a coincidence. I don't think it is, but we'll see. God bless you. God bless America. Thank you so much, America, for supporting what I do. Okay. And I'll do it until they kick me off the joint. Or else something better come along. God bless you. God bless America. Don't forget to hit that like button. Share my videos. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those good things. And please check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. If you like their products, please click on the link below this video. Put Kevin in a promo code. You'll get a 20% discount. If you'd like to donate to Kevin's Corner, feel free. The links are below this video. If you want to be a part of my $2 a month club, also feel free to do that. All it entails is you simply dropping $2 a month into one of those links below the video. Or if you want, you can drop a nice big fat lump sum in there to offset the stuff that we know goes on with big tech. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Make sure that you are still subscribed. And finally, set your notification button to all, because YouTube is playing games, y'all. Now, God bless you. God bless America. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner.